Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video for you guys. We're gonna kind of do a get ready with me story time, scary story time. So I'm just gonna tell you guys a couple things. I did post about this on my Instagram and I haven't made it, but I'm making it today. So yeah, if you guys want to hear a couple scary stories, I guess, or some paranormal things that I've experienced and stuff, stay tuned. And then I just want to let you guys know, a couple of you have been asking why I haven't been posting on my Instagram or on my YouTube. So a couple of you know I recently quit my other job and I got a new job. So I've been kind of dealing with different schedules and it's a little bit different for me. So that's why I've been all over the place and I haven't really had time to kind of settle down and figure out what days are good for me to film yet. And the days that I did have like some time to film, I was just so exhausted. So that's a little bit of that. And if you guys can see on my face, I'm breaking out a lot, so please ignore that. I switched my birth control and I just gained so much weight on my old birth control, and I just feel like this birth control, I know like they have side effects and stuff, and I feel like just because I barely started taking it like maybe a week ago, I've been breaking out, so just ignore that. You know, we're all human, so please don't, you know, get me for that. But for the most part, I'm just gonna kind of do a get ready with me. I'm not gonna really like get in depth on my makeup and stuff. I'm just gonna talk as I go. I have things to do with my boyfriend today since it's my day off. So yeah, and my voice is a little bit raspy. I don't know why. It's just weird, and I have like, I'm telling you, I'm just a hot mess right now. My lips are so chapped. And then my hands are fucking like dry as fuck because I dropped like developer on them and like they're burned. So it's just weird. But anyways, we're gonna get into it. So let me just get my makeup and then I'll start my story time. But yeah, so I want to get into kind of a scary story experience, paranormal shit or whatever. I watch this YouTuber. Her name is Loey Lane. I love her videos. I like can binge watch her and Haley Reese like forever. I love them so much. So I was just watching their videos and I guess like something just told me like, why don't you make a video like them and like post your experiences? And I was just like, you know, and my boyfriend was like, yeah, like you should do it, you know, like you tell me so many things, like you should. And I know a couple of you out there like that do watch these. You have heard my stories. Like I'll mention to you due to things that we've experienced together. So I was like, you know what, like whatever, like I'll give it a go. I don't know if my apartment is haunted. Like a couple of people have said that they've heard things and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like I'm not gonna be like my house is haunted or something, but definitely a lot of things have happened. I remember when we were little, I would sleep in my parents' room with them, like all of us, it was just me and my brother Dylan at the time. I'm obviously the oldest. We would sleep together, and in the middle of the night, like I would remember like my mom, and I was still kind of young to like comprehend everything going on, but I still kind of had a gist of like, you know, what it was. But in my kitchen, like in the middle of the night, you can hear people or someone like washing dishes, and like my mom and my dad, like it's a Mexican thing, like they would be like, ay, ahí está el fantasma, o el fantasma está haciendo los quehaceres, like doing chores, like the ghost is doing the chores. And it would be weird because we would wake up and saying we did leave like a plate or two in the sink, the dishes the next morning would be washed. Like they would just be fucking washed, like, and it wasn't my mom, it wasn't my dad, like they would like tell each other and they would tell us like it wasn't me, it wasn't her, like, and I believed them, like it wasn't them, and to this day like they always say it wasn't them. And then I remember another time, my mom, I don't remember if she had just made tamales or something. So in my kitchen, there's kind of like, you know how kitchens have islands? We don't have an island, but we have like kind of like a countertop. We have a countertop, obviously, so we have it's like a countertop. I have to draw this out for you guys. Okay, so I grabbed paper and I like drew this because you guys like literally have to like see how it is in order to kind of understand what I'm talking about. So this is my weak drawing but quick drawing of my kitchen. So obviously like this is like, I didn't draw that part because I'm just talking about the kitchen right now, but this is like where you walk in, and then this is my kitchen. So this is like, as soon as you go into my kitchen, like there's a countertop, and then I have like my stove, and then like more space for like whatever you're putting, and then your like sink and shit. And then over here is like, there's nothing, it's just like my fridge and like whatever. And then on this side, like outside of the kitchen, it's, at the time it was our dining table. But the thing is, my grandpa, I love him, he was an artist back then, and he drew this huge like what is it, not cardboard, wooden, like a wooden, it's just like a wooden like tabla, like a wooden tabla, I don't know how to say it, like just a wooden tabla. And he drew like a Pluto and a Minnie Mouse for me, and I loved it so much. Like that was his drawing for me. Like Pluto, like as you guys know, Pluto's my favorite Disney character, so my grandpa drew it for me, and we used that as a divider to block off on top of the stove. So it would pretend that this is a table, but the tabla, but it was bigger, obviously bigger version. So like my stove is right here, we use it like this to cover, so my mom wouldn't, like the aceite, like the oil wouldn't spill over to the other side. So she used it as like a, like kind of like a block of a window, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but she put it there. And that thing, my dad like screwdrived it into the like the ceiling thing or whatever, so it would not move. Like you had to like hammer it out, like break it out in order to get it out. So like I said, it blocked off the view from the dining table, and you couldn't see into the kitchen anymore. So it was kind of like that. And I remember in the middle of the night, like I said, my mom was making tamales. I'm pretty sure she made tamales or something. So she left like the big olla, like the big pot or whatever, full of tamales on the side, like they're already done. And I remember, because she had told me like that they were trying the tamales. So like my mom always tries one before she's like, oh, they're good or not, like le faltan más tiempo or something. So she left it on a plate. Like she left the plate in the middle of the little like thing that I'm talking about. So this is like the counter. She left it in the middle. Like, you know, like moms are not gonna like leave their stuff on the edge. Like they're very like, oh, like if I were to leave a cup on the edge of the counter, she'd be like, move it because that water's gonna fall. Like she's always on my ass about those things. So my mom like cleaned her kitchen, she left it there, everything was gone, like there was nothing else on the counter at that time. And then in the middle of the night, I remember just hearing the sound. I don't remember going, but then afterwards I remember getting up. So I remember I just hear my mom and dad like talking over it, and like I go into the kitchen, and everything, like the tabla that my grandpa had drawn for me, it like fell over. So like it fell over into the dining area. So it fell from over the stove thing, it fell on this side, and all of our tables were like our chairs were like messed up, and then the plate like was thrown off on this side, and then on this side she had more pots and pans, and they were thrown on this side. So my mom was like, oh, es el diablo, like, you know, es el this and that, like he's like fucking with us, excuse my language, but you know, he's messing with us. And to this day, like we always like will mention it, and she'll be like, how is it possible that tabla that your grandpa gave you like fell over the opposite way? Oh, the light just went out, bro. I'm scared. My like ring light just went out. Like it's so weird. Like it's fine now. I have like 2 lights, and one of them just went out. That's so fucking weird. Okay. Another thing you guys have to know is every time I talk about things like this, something freaking happens. Like, I'm gonna talk about another story that happened at work, but every time I talk about something, it fucking happens. And I'm alone in my room right now. Like, there's people outside, but bro, like, something always happens. But I was telling you, like, it's just weird how, my tabla fell the opposite way. So, like, it fell this way, and then the other pots and pans fell this way. So how is it that it just doesn't make sense, you know? Like, and it's just weird. Like, we're always like, you know, my mom always says, like, she would say we had a friendly ghost, like he would do our chores and stuff, like just little things. Like, obviously, like our pots and pans, we just got so used to hearing, like, you know how dishes sound, we just got so used to listening to those like noises. I remember another time, I had another cousin of mine, and we slept over, and at the time, so saying it's like this, my dad built a room where the dining table is. So this is my brother's room now. So he like built a room. So now this is just like our living room. So down here, this is like our door. And at the time, Um, at the time, we had a TV against like that wall, and then this is like the entrance to come into my house, and then we had sofas like right here. So me and my cousin were sleeping. She was sleeping over. Well, not sleep. Yeah, she was sleeping over, but we weren't sleeping. We were just like talking, you know, girl stuff, whatever. We were little, and we were sleeping like this. So we were facing. We were against the sofa, like on the bottom of, we were not on the sofa, like we were on the bottom of the sofa, and like we were facing the TV watching scary stories. And like she, like everyone had talked about how my house, like my apartment was haunted and stuff like that. And like my cousin was like, oh, like let's tell scary stories. And I'm telling you, like I just already know, like if we talk about those things, like you kind of like provoke it, or you give more incentive to that whatever is there to, you know, come to you. That's what I think, and it's happened to me personally. So I told her, like, you know, like something's bad's gonna happen, like I'm scared, like I like telling my stories, but I get scared when it happens to me. I love watching scary movies, but I hate when it happens to me. Like I can't handle it. Like it's just a lot because of what I've experienced. But like I said, we were telling scary stories, and all the lights were off, and the only light we had was the TV shimmering. Obviously, like we're watching whatever. And then I remember the TV like just goes static, like it just goes like, you know, like static, and we're watching TV, and we're like, when I looked at her, I'm like, I told you something's gonna happen. She's like, no, you're crazy. And then you can look into my kitchen, like when we're lying down here, like there's nothing blocking my kitchen, like you can look straight into it, like from any angle of the room, like even from my mom's room or from the living room at the time, like we can still see through it. So we just hear like this noise in the kitchen, and mind you, the lights are off, so we hear like this noise. And then we look into the kitchen, and we see like a cabinet, like the cabinet doors are huge, you know, and we just hear it, and we just hear like a creak, like, and like the fucking cabinet door is like opening, like where all my mom's spices are, and it's like, and then me and my cousin were like screaming, like we were so fucking scared, and everyone was sleeping, and my mom had told us like go to sleep earlier, and we didn't listen. And as soon as we start yelling for my mom, we just hear go like super fucking loud, and the TV turns off. And I thought she was messing with me, and she thought I was messing with her. So I'm like, give me the control already. She's like, I don't have the control. And when like we're looking for it, like when my mom came out, she's like what's going on? But we didn't tell her because we were so scared. We both sit up, like, cause like I said, we're leaning like on the bottom of the sofa. We're not on top on the sofa, like we're on the bottom. We look up on the sofa, like the couches, and the fucking remote was on the top. So like there was, and I there was no way that I could have like fucking put it there, or some way that she could have put it there, because we were both like hiding under our blankets, like we're so fucking scared. And it was just so weird. Like that's another thing that happened in my apartment. Like just a lot of things have happened. Like my brother Dylan, I was telling Josh this a couple days ago, that he I don't want to say he was possessed, because I don't know what the fuck. He was maybe just sleepwalking or something. But like I said, there's definitely something here. It was his birthday. I think he was like 7 or something. He was super small. I'm 22, 18. I'm 4 years apart from him. So I remember I had my friends over on his birthday party. And I'm not even getting ready. I have to get ready, you guys. I had my friends come over on his birthday party, and like it was already getting late, like people had already gone away, and then his padrinos were like, oh, like I want to say bye to him because they live far, like we want to say bye to him. And he had already gone to sleep, because mind you, he was still younger, and like he was tired from playing, and like, you know, he was on the jumper and shit. And my mom was like, oh, like I'm gonna go despertar a Dylan. And I was just playing outside, and then I remember like my mom coming outside, and she's like practically like in tears. She's like, I don't know where Dylan is, like Dylan's not in the house, like he's not there, I put him in the room, he's not there, like where is he outside? So like we all start checking, like my dad checks the jumper, no one's in the jumper, we're all outside just playing like God knows what. And then they're checking the house, they check the room, he's not in the room, they check the restroom, he's not in the restroom, everywhere, like Dylan was nowhere to be found, and they thought maybe he had gone outside to play. We start checking, and nowhere, like my brother is nowhere, like in sight, nowhere in sight. Oh, that scared me. And then pretty much like a homeboy, like I don't know what the fuck happened. To this day, I don't know what happens. Like it's just freaking weird to explain. Like you guys had to be there to like experience how weird and just scary this was. I was scared. I'm like, my brother's gone, someone stole my brother. And then we're all standing in the hallway, like looking into my room, into like our room, and we can see the restroom, and we can see the kitchen. Like we're like standing there talking, like where could he be? Maybe he's hiding. And then I don't know where like the restroom light was off, and we look, and it's like my brother's just standing there like against the wall in our restroom, and we have like a huge like mirror in our restroom. Like it's ginormous, like it's a huge mirror, and homeboy is just like standing against the wall looking down, like, but his body was pressed against like the wall, and he's just like this. And then like he just like, my mom's like, Dylan, and he wakes up and he's like, what's going on? Like why is everybody yelling? Like what's going on? And like he doesn't remember, like he was standing up, he does not remember how he got there. He says that somebody put him there, and it's just weird. Like we don't know how it happened. Like everyone checked, like my parents said that they checked the bathtub, and the homeboy wasn't there, and then out of nowhere like he was there. So we were like, what the hell? It was just weird. And then for him too, like he says in his sleep, my mom told my brother this, she doesn't let any of us sleep with necklaces on anymore, because after that incident, Dylan had like a gold necklace, like with the Virgencita, I think, or God or something. Like he was sleeping, I guess, and like he started to like twirl his finger in his sleep, and he was choking himself with it. Like his finger turned purple, and he couldn't breathe anymore because he was choking himself. So my mom had to like rip that necklace off of him. But it was just weird. Like I said, like a lot of things have happened to us. um I'm trying to think of what else happened in the house. There's this one time my mom, I don't know if my mom's gonna get mad at me for saying this story, but my dad's brother, his oldest brother, not his oldest brother, but he was really close to his brother. His name's Jose. May he rest in peace. He passed away when I was young. I remember I was still super small. I didn't meet them. I only went to Mexico once. My mom's my great grandma, so my mom's grandma passed away, but my mom got raised by her. She passed away, so I haven't met any of my dad's family besides the ones that are here. So I remember he got a call from his mom, and like I remember my dad throwing himself on the bed, like crying, like really bad over this, and it just affected him a lot because he was so close to this uncle of mine. And I guess days following, months following, I don't really remember. My mom just kind of mentioned to me. Back then, we used to have a big like willow tree, like a huge willow tree in front of our window, like outside, like in our apartment complex. We used to have a big ass tree and a big pine tree. So we would like hang macas, like I don't know if you guys hammocks. I think they're called hammocks. So we would hang macas in between those trees. Cause I was little, we would just like hang out. My padrinos used to live over here too, and they would like swing me. And she said that in the middle of the night, kind of like in the madrugada, so like in the morning, like a.m., morning a.m., she heard someone like knock on the window, and she would tell me that usually my dad, because he used to work in marble, like he used to make like tiles and stuff, and my padrino lived upstairs, so they would always like walk or go to the bus to work together, and they would knock on the windows. So this morning somebody knocked on the window, so she like looked, and she's like, oh, va a ser el compadre, my nino. And she checked the window, no one was there, but she heard it again. And then when she heard it again, I guess she looked outside the window, like the blinds, and my deceased uncle Jose was there, and like he was like in all white. I have like goosebumps right now. He was like in all white, just standing like against a tree, like leaning against a tree. Like he was doing this like stance where like you have one foot down and like the other one like against something. Like, does that make sense? And like he had his arms like this, and he just like waved at her, and he went like this to come out to my mom. But like she wasn't afraid, but she saw him, and she never told my dad anything until years later, I guess. And my grandma called her, I guess, telling her that she felt that she saw him, and like my mom finally told my dad. But it's just like, that was a weird story. Like I was like, bro, like I would have been so scared if I seen it. He told me this story because we're close to Christmas. Was it after or before Christmas?
Before.
So it's like a little bit before Christmas. So he starts telling me the stories, and like we watch it on YouTube. Like we YouTube like Elf on a Shelf, and we watch it, and they're just weird. Like it's like a little elf with like long ass legs, scary. So another word for elf in Spanish, I guess, is duende, right, babe? Or like troll. Like duende is a troll or something.
They have it in Filipino
yeah, so I told him, I started telling him stories about like duendes from Mexico that my aunt told me. So like I said, my aunt told me a story in Mexico where she was washing and like they do laundry by hand, like with the big great like thingy. Yeah, washboard. And that's how you know I don't wash, because I don't even know what it's called. And she told me that. Stop. And then she told me that there was a little girl, like she was taking care of a little girl or something, and then that they would hear like little pebbles being thrown at the wall. But back then in Mexico, like at their spot, I guess, they had like metal fence or something, so like it was all metal, like you couldn't see through it. So they would hear little pebbles being thrown, and that the little girl would like be so happy to go over there, and like she would talk, and like she could see things, like she was seeing little things. And in Mexico, like a legend is that duendes like little kids, and they try to take little kids away. So she was telling me the story, and I mentioned to him, and then that same night, was it that same night? Yeah, right. That same night we were sleeping. We had our head down that way, huh?
No, we were sleeping this way because you were like. And I was like, okay. Bro.
So yeah, so we were sleeping, and I was sleeping on this side. And like I mentioned, we can see into the living room, and we had our Christmas tree set up right in front of the window, so we can see like the lights flickering on and off, like these specific lights. So like I said, my mom purchased glass ornaments this year. So glass ornaments sound different than the plastic ornaments, so you can hear that they sound different. And what?
You can hear the paranoia.
And then she purchased other ornaments that had like bells on them, huh, babe? Like bells. And like you can fucking hear them. Like if you move them, you can hear the little bells. And if you touch the tree, like it would like jiggle, and you can hear the noises. So I'm telling you, we're sleeping, and then I hear like in the middle of the night, like I wake up, and it was 3 a.m, huh? Legit, it was 3 a.m.
Yeah, like 2 a.m.
Like yeah, so I woke up, and like I'm like still half asleep, but because I heard something. So as you guys know, I have 6 dogs. So one of them, Nala, she jumps over the fence, and like we have a little gate, so she usually jumps over it, and like she walks around. So like I said, my floor is like tile, so you can hear like paws, like my dog's like nails hitting the floor. So at first I thought it was that, so I'm like quiet, and I like said Nala, because that's her name, Nala, and I didn't hear anything. And then that's when I heard the Christmas tree like moving, like the bells like jingling, and I'm like, this bitch is trying to get the ornaments. So I'm just standing there being quiet, and I'm like, bro, like I'm gonna hear something, and I hear a fucking ornament fall. Like I hear an ornament straight up like fall, but it didn't crack, like it didn't like break or anything. And like if you guys have ever heard an ornament like roll on the floor, like, or something cylinder, like it sounds weird. It's like it sounds weird. So I thought, in my mind, I thought that my dog like had taken one down, and she was probably like rolling it back and forth like this, because that's what it sounded like. Cause it would go and stop, and then go again. And do you guys hear that little noise? That's what it sounded like, the little fucking bells.
Why you gotta use my claw?
Shut up. And then I kept hearing like, and I'm telling you, like I was at this point, I was like Nala, like I was scared, and I didn't hear anything. And then I felt something was coming towards the door, and I was so fucking scared, and I woke you up, right? Or I got up first. What did I do?
Well, I was mad because you were like, babe. I was like, bro, you know I gotta be at work in like a few hours, like in like 2 hours. And she's like, can you wake up? I was like, alright, what happened? And she goes, there's something outside. And I was like, what do you mean something's outside? She goes, there's something outside. And I was like, what did I say? I was like, bro, you're just tripping. Go back to sleep. Cause I was like, you watch too many of them damn little Dwayne videos, and that's why I give him a nickname, Little Dwayne. Well, her imaginary duende, Little Dwayne.
So yeah, so he fucking just blows it off, and I couldn't sleep. But fucking like as soon as I fell asleep again, I fucking heard it, and I saw something like run quick, and I woke him up, and he's like, you're crazy, blah blah blah, and like he didn't believe me. And fucking I told you I felt something pull the thing, and he didn't fucking believe me. But homeboy was scared.
Not
yeah, he was. Bro, he was. No. I was like, babe, there's something there. And I pull it. He's like, what are you talking about? You're fucking crazy. But he fucking puts his foot up, like his feet up, because he was fucking scared. He's like, stop. He was so mad. Like, you're fucking crazy. Like you're just saying things. Like, he was so mad, but he was scared. He was fucking scared.
Well, yeah, obviously
you
I was mad.
Scared.
I was not scared, bro.
he low-key believed me. He was scared. Because, babe, something was at the feet of our bed. You fucking heard it too.
No, there was.
Yeah, there was. There
Yeah.
fucking was. And he doesn't believe me. But he fucking does. He just doesn't want to admit it.
No such thing.
But yeah, that's our story with Lil Dwayne. So I didn't tell them the stories about like Tilly's and stuff, but I'm gonna
All the ghost stories.
yeah, but I'm gonna do those as a second part.
Yo, but that mirror one, that was a trip.
Which one?
Remember when we were all standing outside and you're like, I saw something through a mirror, and like this shit. Oh, I don't.
Yeah, well no, I'm not gonna tell
Yeah.
him. I'm gonna post it in my second one. But yeah, I have a picture. Like I have like a live what is it? Like
Live photo.
live photo. So like you guys will legit see a ghost.
That shit. I believe though. I saw that with my 2 eyes.
Yeah. So if you guys yeah, so I'm gonna tell you guys like all of my like work ghost stories in a second part. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, make sure you guys give this a thumbs up.
A thumbs up and subscribe, y'all.
Yeah, and then leave me a comment down below on what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have had any paranormal experiences happen to you guys. Let me know if you guys want to hear about anything in general. Like I said, I have a lot of scary stories, but for the most part, that is it. And then thank you guys for being patient and waiting and still watching my videos, even though I haven't posted in a while. My boyfriend and one of my friends, Crystal, she pushes me a lot to want to post, but I haven't. But because I started a new job, I told them about that, and I haven't had time to like settle in and stuff like about my schedule, and I've been lazy. But
Yeah.
what?
I ain't gonna lie. That yeah. You said, oh, lady.
Wow, fucking butt. But anyways, yeah. So like I said, I'll probably post. I'm gonna record the second part today and post it only if you guys like and do on the poll on my Instagram. But for the most part, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys want more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. And I hope you guys have a great and amazing day. And thank you for watching my videos. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Be safe.
Don't let anything spooky come get you. What?
Please.
El chamuco. Chamuco?
The what?
Chamuco.
I don't know what that is.
Cucuy.
Oh, you mean El Cui Cui.
Beach. Okay, bye guys.